I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. You have a good holiday?
I had a wonderful holiday. How about you?
Yeah, it was great. No complaints at all.
You got to watch some sports that are not in Monmouth College, but you got a lot of Monmouth College in too.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Got to travel out to California to visit my brother and nephew out there for a few days over Christmas with my mom and dad. So that was great. And yeah, we had some overall events. We had basketball for a few days, and then got to watch a bunch of NFL, college football, college basketball, a little bit of everything. So yeah, great break.
How was California here in the winter?
It was very wet. It unfortunately,
It
like
looked
you
like
hear
it.
you hear all the stuff that it never rains in Southern California. We were in the Los Angeles area, and we had 2 really good days to start, and then it rained for 3 days straight, including Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Was just pouring rain. The streets were flooded. There were we kept getting alerts for flooding and landslides and all that stuff in the hills where we were. So that part wasn't great, but we got a beautiful day on, I think it was Monday, when we went down into Hollywood with my nephew and went to a car museum down there and a couple different shops right down in the heart of LA. So we got great weather and got to do that, and that was fantastic. So.
And then I did see more rain for the Rose Bowl, of course, in northern portions of Los Angeles towards the Pasadena area.
Yeah, and we were
rain.
Yeah, that's where we were in the northern part there, and that's what they had. I know they were excited for the Rose Bowl parade. That's what everybody was talking about while we were out there, was getting stuff ready for that after Christmas. So, but yeah, they had a bunch of it, so it made things a little challenging, but we had as much fun as we could.
I saw the guys, the crew rather, on the Rose Bowl Rose Bowl game.
Yeah.
Boy, they were out there with the most unique looking squeegees I'd ever seen.
I know that was something different to have all that ready, have their crew going. You don't even realize when you're watching, and I've done a few behind the scenes, nothing that large, but a few behind the scenes. You don't understand how many people it takes.
Yeah.
To get something like that put together, to build that stage that they broadcast on with Reese Davis and all those guys, plus what Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit are doing, how many people they have with them up in the booth and setting all that up. But then, to get those semis in, to get the trucks in, to get the stage there, that's a huge undertaking. So, yeah, they got people, that's their job.
Yeah.
Squeegee it off and, get things ready, move cords, got to have all that stuff protected. So
exactly.
You don't understand how many people it takes to do all that unless you've, been part of something. Like I did the IHSA crew, and this is probably 10 times that, right? With something like the Rose Bowl or the college football playoffs.
Well, and it was unique, too, because you can't just go out there and pull a tarp out like you do in baseball, right? You can't just roll her out there and then roll it back up.
Yeah, football's completely different. To get it ready for football, for soccer, for a field that size, you can't just do that like we did in minor league baseball, where you cover the infield, or get that ready like they do in the majors, and even that would take us, 15, 20 people to get down there and do that. With football, it's completely different.
Well, I'm glad you had a nice time.
Yeah.
In California.
Good time.
All right, let's backtrack. Over the weekend, the girls fell, but the boys came back.
Yeah, there was a whole lot over break. Just starting with this weekend back in the conference play, the guys had a great comeback. They were down 17 with 9 minutes and 33 seconds to go at Cornell, which is a team that's given Monmouth trouble over the years. Had won 11 in a row against the Fighting Scots until last year, and then finally got past that hurdle on the way to the regular season championship last year. And, again, this year struggled shooting against them for a good portion of the game, but then made a couple threes late. Cam Thomas kind of took over for a little stretch where he had, 6 out of 8 points in a comeback stretch. Kyle Taylor hit a three to finally pull it even and erase that deficit, and then made free throws down the stretch, which was big. Ended up having Zay Brown, Cam Thomas, and Kyle Taylor all in double digits for the contest. Zay had another double-double. He added 14 rebounds with his point tally and got that comeback and got the win. Cornell had a chance to tie it at the end. They called timeout. They got a pretty good look at a three-pointer to tie the game, and fortunately for Monmouth, it didn't go in, and Monmouth grabbed the rebound as the buzzer hit, so they didn't get another opportunity. So won that one by 3 on the men's side, so tied for first place with Grinnell after 4 conference games at 4-0, in conference. We've played so far Illinois College, Knox, Lawrence, and Cornell, and have got a big stretch coming up with a couple of the other teams who are up there in the top 4 in the standings now. So that was a big one there. On the women's side, unfortunately, they lost on Saturday to Cornell. That was 2 teams who were both looking for their first win in conference play, and Cornell got the better of that. Tia Riggs had a nice game for Monmouth in leading scoring and leading rebounding. Also had a career high 6 steals for her in that contest, but unfortunately, Cornell came out on top of that one.
Okay. Too bad for the women. Gosh, they have got such a great group, too. I see really good things for them for their future.
Yeah, and they had a nice win last week on Monday against Eureka down on the road in non-conference play. A little bit of history there. You'll like this one as a former player, but Kinley Stearns, who's from Knoxville High School, had a triple-double, which is only the second in Monmouth history and the first ever for a women's player to come in a non-overtime game. She had a fantastic game, picked up her 10th assist, which is only been done 8 times in school history to have somebody in double digits in assists. Hadn't been done in more than a decade, and she picked up her 10th assist with 6 minutes to play. That got her to the triple-double because she already had 16 points and 13 rebounds, and Monmouth won that game by double digits. A nice big win over Eureka, and a little bit of history for Kinley. So, a nice result for them, and I know they were all happy for her. Not only that, it was her birthday. So got to make some Monmouth history and celebrate her birthday on the same day last Monday, which was great.
What a well-rounded game.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She leads the team in steals, is the point guard. Obviously leads the team in assists, and just made her 50th career 3-pointer. She unfortunately missed her freshman year. She tore her ACL in her first college practice. And missed her freshman year, but now as a senior, is making some history and having a really good start to this year. So it's great to see her bounce back and do that.
Love it. Okay, what's on tap for this week or any other over the holiday break that you want to actually highlight?
Yeah, we had a few other games over break. The men had a close loss against Aurora at home last Tuesday with the game there, and the women had played up at Dominican. But looking forward to this week. Now it's just conference play for basketball left. Those games last Tuesday were the last non-conference games for both the men and women. So it's going to be kind of a weird sprint to the finish now with just about 2 games every week. We do have a bye in there in the middle of February or beginning of February actually, but we're going to play either Tuesday or Wednesday and Saturday just about every week till the end of February for that, and it starts this week at home on Wednesday night against Ripon. We'll have the men at 5:30 and the women to follow. That's a big one. Ripon is the defending conference champion on the women's side. They've won, I believe it's 6 straight they've hosted every year going back to even pre-COVID. They've hosted the conference tournament. Monmouth won up there in 2020 to make the NCAA tournament, but they've been the dominating force. They're nationally ranked. We'll see where they are when the poll comes out tomorrow because they won again over the weekend, but they were number 25 in the national poll last week, and they'll be here on Wednesday. On the men's side, they're always in the top 6. It's always a challenging game on the men's side, and that's where they are again this year. And then this weekend, both basketball teams will head up to Beloit for a Saturday doubleheader. The men will play first at 1 o'clock, and the women will play second, and that'll be a tough one again for both teams on that one. Saturday, it's a tough place to go and play up in Beloit. And
hated playing at Beloit.
Hopefully the looks like the weather will cooperate, so there won't be any snow for them to drive through going up there.
Like this huge gym, because of how the bleachers are set up, and there's so much open space on one side of the bleachers and at the other end of your hoop, and so shooting is so weird because there's no wall. Right. So it seems like it's further away. At least that's what it felt like.
They've always got the camera up so high; it's like a bird's eye view looking down. It's like they're up in the top of the rafters, like that to kind of see what's going on. So yeah, definitely challenging. Our swimmers are back as well. They're back on campus this week, and they're going to swim on Saturday up at Augustana in a tri-meet. Co is there as well. We did this last year in January. It's kind of the welcome back meet, and we'll do that again. Track will come back middle of this week to start practice. They do not have a competition this weekend. They'll get back into action next weekend. Up at St. Ambrose, but this Saturday is right back to it after just having basketball. We'll have swimming going. We'll have 2 basketball games and really 2 swim meets because they'll have the tri-meet. They'll score that both independently against Co and Augustana. Last year we split that. We beat Co and lost to Augustana, so we'll see what happens up in the pool in in Rock Island coming up on Saturday.
Okay. Best of luck to all of the players at Monmouth College this week in their conference play and the tri-meet with the swimmers as well. Free and open to the public for any games.
Yep. Wednesday night we'll have that ready to go against Ripon. Everything's free, and we won't have students on campus yet for this one or the one next week. So we encourage everybody to come out and cheer on the basketball teams and have some fun at Glennie Gym. When
are the students back?
They're back classes are back on the 20th, right after Martin Luther King. So they'll come back in. We'll start to move back in that weekend. Obviously, the athletes are back. There's a few other things on campus, the J-term and those kinds of things where some people are on campus for small events, but overall classes for the second semester, easy for me to say, start on the 20th.
Okay, fantastic. Well, plenty of parking. Get in.
That's
free.
Right.
Wednesday and watch some good basketball and support your Monmouth College Fighting Scots.
That's right.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.